It's The Last Stand. And here is your host, Brian Custer.
That's right. It is The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport. I'm Brian Custer. Joining me today is a man, one of the most exciting fighters at 130 pounds. He's known as Prime Time. He's none other than Chris Colbert. Prime Time, welcome back to The Last Stand.
Thank you for having me, Brian.
Look, you're back in the ring, March 25th, Showtime pay-per-view on that Benavidez Plant card. Jose Valenzuela. Man, I guess the question I want to know is, how different of a Chris Colbert will we see that night and at 135?
To be honest, shame on me. My last fight, everybody know. If you know me or you watch me, you're a fan of me, you know that wasn't me. But I don't make excuses. I take my loss like a man, and now it's just time to get back and do what I do best, and that's be prime time. And come that night, March 25th, I'm going to show up and show out. I'm going to dominate performance. Not even going to be close. I'm not coming to play around. I ain't here for the games, the talking, all the tough shit. I'm here to really get right.
Now, it's interesting because it's a fight that, Jose is another kid who everybody had great expectations on. He suffers a stoppage loss. You suffer a loss. Is this the biggest fight of your career at this point?
Yeah, I mean, you could say at this moment, yeah, because I'm coming off a loss. But it's crazy because I think he called me out before. He called me out on TV before. He said, "That's what you want next." I think after he fought Delay, he said he wanted to fight me. Well, he'll fight me. And then he fought somebody that was in my gym training, and I was sparring him. The guy that beat him, I was sparring him a lot. And boy, I put hands and shit on him. I just know what I put the work that I've been putting in. The rough year that I had this year from taking my first losses, it was like the depression was crazy, like through the roof. And I know I don't ever want to have that feeling in my stomach again. So now I got nothing to lose and everything to prove.
I'm curious. Are you staying at 135 after this, or do you go down to 130?
Wow,
back down to 130.
I'm just fighting at 135 this fight. I've been off for a year. Had to regroup, and I wanted to make a statement at 135. At 130, nobody ain't gonna give me a big fight. All the 130 pounders is going to try to play back and forth games. I don't got no time for it. So I was supposed to fight Frank Martin. He was doing all this talking, and they wanted to go on and fight somebody else. I respect it. So now we went on and go get another dog.
Last time, obviously, we saw you was last February, as you talked about a year ago, and you took on Hector Garcia. Hector took the fight on short notice.
Yeah.
Basically a couple of weeks, if that. He not only gave you your first loss, but he dropped you for the first time in your career as well. Give me the biggest lesson you learned from that fight.
Honestly, he didn't really drop me. I dropped myself.
What do you mean by that?
Coming in the gym in boxing, you always learn when you punch with your chin in the air. When you come in, you're not supposed to come in with your chin in the air and jump in. You got to pay the consequences. That's exactly what I did. Because at that point, I don't know, my head was just not there. My brain and my arms and my brain wasn't cooperating with each other. My brain knew what to do, but my arms couldn't do it. So it was just like, it is what it is at this point. And I dropped myself. Like I said, I jumped in knowing I should have never jumped in with my chin in the air. I would try to throw a right hand, he threw it straight left. And that's bound to happen when you get caught jumped in. It's not like he hurt me. He didn't hurt me off that punch. It was a punch that he hurt me with another punch in the fight. That punch never hurted me.
I remember when we had you on The Last Stand last time, it was right before the fight, you said, listen, I don't even know who this guy is. Had never even heard of him. And I guess the question is, did you overlook this guy? And is that the biggest lesson you learned? Like, you know what? I think I'll never overlook another opponent.
To be honest, I really don't feel like I overlooked him. That's the crazy part, because I think I took every opponent as a serious, dangerous opponent, because all it takes is 5 pounds of pressure on the right spot, and you could be lights out. So I don't really think I overlooked him. Like I said, I don't like to make excuses, because I don't want to come up here and say, like, I feel like I overworked my body. Because remember, I was supposed to fight before, but we got postponed again. Then we got postponed again. So it's like, I just felt like my body was just shot. Like, there was no I was gonna call the fight off because I felt like, dang, like I should have just waited, but I was being. I learned patience actually. I learned from that was a lesson of being patient because Alan was telling me, wait. I'm like, nah, I need to fight. I need to fight. I need to fight. I've been training. I need to fight. Like sometimes you gotta listen to the people that's above you or that know more than you because they telling you for a reason. Like just wait, relax, go take some time off, take a week off, come back, regroup. But I was too fiending to fight, and I had to pay the consequences. I don't make, like I said, I don't make no excuses. Like I was so dehydrated that fight. It was outrageous. My throat was swollen before the fight. Like I could barely breathe. First round, I couldn't even breathe. You never. When the last time you see me sit down in a fight in the corner? That fight, I had no choice but to sit down. I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, but there's no excuses. He beat me fair and square. He was the better man that night. But like I said, let's run it back. So I'm gonna get this win. This win is gonna be an impressive win, and he's gonna put my name back up there because a lot of people still look at him as a dog. Am I correct or am I correct?
Absolutely.
Everybody still look at him as a dog. He got caught like a good shot. He didn't regroup because he don't have this. The IQ, his brains wasn't there. So when I dominate him, now my name is back in the talk. My name is in the talks at 35. My name is in the talks at 30. I think I got to get my belt.
You talked about not only suffering your first loss, but depression. What was that like for you, suffering your first loss? And a lot of people came at you hard, boy. They were hard on social media. This guy's all talk.
I don't pay it no mind. Like, I never paid people no mind. Like, people been talking about me my whole life. Been saying what you can't do, what you ain't going to do. Oh, you a front runner, you this, you that. I don't pay that no mind. I never paid it no mind. I don't care what people say. It's just to myself. Like, I was calling myself a loser all year. I'm still calling myself a loser until I get a win. I was being hard on myself. Like, damn, you suck. Like, it was times I was driving home, like, coming from anywhere, and I just, like, crying, like, damn, like, can't believe you lost. Like, and this whole time, instead of training, I was just focusing on, like, doing everything but training this whole time. I've been training now for, like, 3 months. But before then, I haven't been doing nothing. I was just living. I was just taking everything as a lesson. How many lessons you going to take until you learn how to do the right thing? And I had to come to my senses. Like, yo, I'm bugging. Like, I'm Prime. I'm Prime. I'm B-Hop. Whatever they want to call me. I'm Christopher Colbert. That's me.
Yeah. I'm curious. What were your feelings though, watching Garcia after he gets the victory over you, go get a world title shot, win it? All of a sudden, there's all of this admiration for this guy, and then he gets the big payday and takes on Tank Davis. What was that like for you to see him do that all in that year?
I'm proud. I ain't no hater. Ain't no hate on my shoulder. Like I'm proud of him. Like he capitalized on the opportunity got presented to him. He went out and did big things. I can't say he had a big payday, but for him, it probably was a big payday. But listen, like I said, I'm proud of him. He went in there and gave Devontae a fight. Like he didn't just go in there and get clipped up like I thought he would. I thought he was gonna get chipped up early. Bing bang boom went. Was all she wrote. That's what I thought was gonna happen. I ain't gonna lie. He went in there. He was really catching Tank. Like I knew his footwork was gonna be the problem, and his defense is not too shabby.
Your other guy who you've known very long and it's kind of been a rival of yours, Shakur Stevenson. He said, quote, talking about you, quote, this dude said he didn't know if I got dog in me. He down every round, not even trying to fight and win at all. I told y'all, he all bark, end quote.
Yeah, but this is one thing about Shakur. This is what he do. He always talk shit. I don't talk about no fighter bad, no way. I just tell him, I say the honest truth, what I feel. I give my opinion, or I say the honest truth. And then his opinion. Everybody got an opinion. It's like an asshole. We all got one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The two things that I kept hearing and seeing, obviously, on social media, but people were talking about after that the fight, they said two things. Number one, they felt like, towards the end of the fight, why wasn't Chris Colbert trying to win? It seemed like he was just moving, not trying to win. And number two, I don't think Chris Colbert has the pop for some of these elite guys at 130.
But we already...
How do you respond
We already know I'm not a knockout puncher. Like, I'm just a precise puncher. So if I get a knockout, it's because of that. Sharp, precise, crisp. And it's not that I wasn't trying to win. It's just the circumstances. I felt my body already. Like, you got to listen to your body. I felt my body. Why am I going there and taking unnecessary punches? God forbid he hit me behind the head or something, and then I end up in the hospital with brain damage. I grew up without a father, so I ain't going to make my kids grow up without a father for their sport. No way. I'm here to change their life, change my family life. And by doing that, I got to be smart. If you feel your body calling for it's not working, what you got planned, or your body's not doing what you trying to do, be smart.
What are your priorities now going forward here? Especially, is it 130? Is it 135? What's the priorities now for Chris Colbert going forward?
I don't even look at it like that. I look at it as opportunity. I'm an opportunity type of guy. You know, I've been taking opportunities since I was 4-0. Undefeated fighters, beating them. Opportunity. This was a great opportunity. He came to me with the Ryu fight. He's a good kid. I like him. Do I think he could beat me? Absolutely fucking not. Am I going to embarrass him? Yes, the fuck I am. I'm coming to play no games. This book is not done being written, and we're gonna write another chapter come on March 25th. I'm telling you, I people might say, yeah, this kid talk a lot. Yeah, I talk, but I only talk when it's time to talk. Right now, it's time to talk because we're doing an interview. So this is the time you gotta talk. When we go up there to do the press conferences, it's time to talk. That's how we're gonna sell a fight. Make sure people tune in. Yes, people gonna tune in because he coming off a loss. I'm coming off a loss. They say he's a big knockout puncher. I'm a skillful boxer. Which one is going to win that night?
I know that you and Gary Russell Jr. had some back and forth. I was in Brooklyn one time and witnessed it for myself.
Talking, though.
You mentioned Frank Martin. There was talk that fight was basically almost done. What happened with those fights, and will we see those
Gary
fights
Russell
in the future?
Fight, just a talker. You see, he just talk about fighting everybody. He want to fight everybody up until middleweight. He want to fight Terrence Crawford. He's like, you can just tell when somebody just be talking and talk. I don't bring up fights unless the fight is brought to me, presented to me. I'm not going to just walk around asking for fight. Gary Russell fight was presented to me. He did that. WBC man ordered him a mandatory. He had to fight a mandatory. So he did that just so he didn't want to really fight. He just doing all this talking. Then he's like, oh, he wanted like big money. Like he thought he was fighting Floyd Mayweather or something. Like, I know I'm that guy, but like, I still got to earn my spot. Like, I understand that. Remember what I told you, what I learned from my last fight. Patient.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not Russian. I'm American. I ain't Russian. So I'm going to take my time. And I'm going to do what I got to do and make sure I do things right. So the next time I step in the ring, I ain't going to be worried about nothing.
Do you see you and Gary Russell Jr. in the future?
Gary Russell just all talk. He's not fighting. He's not fighting nobody. He's trying to get a big payday so we can retire.
Is Chris Colbert still one of the elite fighters at 130
March
pounds?
25th, you're going to see. I know what I'm capable of doing. A lot of people know what I'm capable of doing. They know what I do best. You know what I do best. A lot of people know what I do best. So by us just saying it ain't doing nothing. We got to just keep going out there and proving it.
I love it. Chris, for everybody who watches and supports the show, we let them submit questions through social media. We've got a number of them for you, so we'll just get to a few. The first one is from Lou. Lou asks, will you seek a rematch with Hector Garcia?
I have to. Unless he loses the title, I have to. I won't be able to sleep good knowing that I lost to that man. Like, I can't. Like, how you lose to him, bro?
Steve-O on Twitter asks, if you couldn't beat Hector Garcia, what makes you think that you can even touch a Gary Russell Jr. or a Frank Martin, guys who are levels above Garcia?
I don't even know, man. We're going to have to find out.
Dirk says, did your ego lead you to overlook your last opponent, and what have you done to prevent it from happening again?
Nah, my ego never, I don't let that ego thing get to me. Like, I don't really look over people. Like, I think everybody, because I respect everybody that's stepping in the ring. That's one thing people can't say about me. I don't cherry pick. I don't hand pick my fighters. I take whoever they bring to the table.
Jay asks, if you were familiar with Hector Garcia, saw video of him in his previous fights, how would that fight have played out?
I did see videos, but it would have played out the same way it played out. If I was 100%, it would have never played out like that. It would have played out as a whole total different story. But it played out the way it played out. He was just a better man that night.
Okay, Chris Colbert, it's time for the last segment of the show. We call it The Last Stand. I'm asking you a series of questions. Just give me the first thing that comes to your mind. You ready?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Will you remain that brash, some say cocky fighter going forward?
For sure.
Love it. Benavidez versus Plant. Who wins that fight and why?
50-50. They both come in with a lot of anger. I like the way Caleb Plant is keeping his composure, though. So, but it's 50-50. If Caleb Plant could box him the whole time, he could win. If Benavidez get him tired and wear him down, Benavidez could win and stop him.
Tank versus Ryan, April 15th. Who wins that fight? Why?
Gervonta Davis knockout. Ryan Garcia made too many mistakes. He punched with his chin in the air, jab with his chin in the air, he hooked with his chin in the air. It's just Gervonta Davis. Y'all keep forgetting that he's a bad boy. I'm no hater. His defense is there, his reflexes is there, his power is there, his speed is there. He got it.
Do you see Chris Colbert and Shakur Stevenson actually fighting in the future?
For sure. Me and Shakur have to. That's a fight that just have to happen. Like, that's a must-see TV, must-see fight. Like, the fans will respect the both of us more if we both fight each other, for sure.
What fighters do you enjoy watching right now?
Tony Harrison, Danny Garcia, those are my two brothers, for sure. I like watching Shakur too fight. He's a little boring, but he's only boring to the people that not really boxing fans. Like, you just want to see people get their head punched in. You see, talking about skills, I watch him. Yeah, Tyson Fury.
You like Tyson Fury, huh?
I love him. I love Tyson Fury. That's really about it. I really watch Tony Harrison a lot, though. That guy is a bad boy.
What do you think about him and Zoo?
I think he could beat Zoo easy, to be honest. He just got to be 100% disciplined. Like I said, if he is 100% disciplined, anybody in the 154 division will be a tough fight. Like, they're going to have to bring their best.
And we had him on The Last Stand, and he said all he wants is another shot at Charlo.
All I want him to have is another shot at Charlo. Because it's crazy how they even had him losing the last fight. Like, he showed a different side of him. He showed super bad.
Last question. Will you be a world champion, and at what weight?
I'm going to get my title at 130 for sure. That's going to be the first weight I get my belt at. And that's going to start the story.
There you have it. Prime time. Chris Colbert, he's back. Man, you know my feelings for you, and I can't wait to see you back in the ring and on pay-per-view.
Yeah, man. First pay-per-view, man. I used to sit back and be like, dang, why they keep putting all these other guys on pay-per-view and they putting them on whack fights? Like, I'd go in there and fight people that's going to fight every time. I go in there and get them a good fight every time. Why I'm not on pay-per-view yet? And my first comeback fight off a loss, they put me on pay-per-view. Now we got something to prove, baby.
There we go. That's what we do, folks. We bring you the biggest names in the sport. And at 130, this guy right here, Chris Colbert, is right there. He says he's going to be world champion again. Appreciate your primetime. Best of luck on March 25th.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again next week.